Do you believe that you can heal yourself? Too often, we give our power away to something outside of ourselves, and rarely, if ever, trust and tap into our innate healing power and intuition. Everyone has this capability to heal in ways we never thought possible. It's your sovereign right to claim and have true health and lasting wellness. Now, here is the host of the Dr. Dolores Show, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in our amazing universe. Welcome to another episode of the Dr. Dolores Show on Inspired Choices Network. And we're going to be talking about festive self-care today. We're in the holiday season, and it's hard to believe that it is already December, and this year is just almost is written off in the books. It's hard to believe that I was talking to my producer and it's just like 3 weeks from today is actually Christmas. Oh my God, where did the year go? But anyway, when we talk about holidays and stuff like that, there's just so much stuff that comes up for people, especially about, if stress. There's a lot going on, okay? And layer that on with a lot going on in our world these days, it can be dauntingly overwhelming. So, for those of us who are empaths, intuitives, and highly sensitive people, where we have a tendency to be wired a little differently than the average person, it could be somewhat a minefield sometimes to maneuver through this. But, rest assured, I'm going to see what I could do to make it a little easier for you and offer you some insights and suggestions to help you, get through the holiday season and hopefully any other time of the year for yourself too. Because it's not just the holidays, it's any time where you feel like you're like on overwhelm. And believe me, there's enough happening in our universe that could set you off and trigger you. And that's the last thing you want to do because it takes you out of your power and out of your divine essence, if you want to call it that. So it's really about allowing yourself the grace to just be who you are on your terms. What a concept, huh? So, let's talk about, we talk a lot about setting boundaries. Boundaries is an essential thing, and it's a way to protect your energy because what happens sometimes, and I'm going to say sometimes we're totally unaware of this, and this is happening on an unconscious level, is that things are pulling at us energetically and we're not aware of it, but yet we feel like we're drained, we feel like we're hitting obstacles or hiccups, and sometimes what it could be is that our boundaries are not stable or set in place, or you know or we don't even have any idea what's kind of going on because it's like we're feel like we're energetically being pulled in different directions, and sometimes we feel like we're just getting the life sucked out of us. Does that ever happen to you? Sometimes that happens to me, and I have to be aware that, okay, it's my energy field. So many of us carry a lot more light energy, and what that means is that our energy field is, I would say, a little more advanced. It's higher vibrating, and when it's higher vibrating, it shines more light. So when we shine more light, the lower frequencies are attracted to that and they want to come in and take that light, to booster up themselves. They don't realize that they have the capability of raising their frequency to get to a higher light. So it's like they're almost like psychic vampires or vampires. They kind of hook in and suck your life out of you so they could become more complete and whole. And so when this happens to many of us who are empaths, intuitives, and highly sensitive people, it's about learning how to be more aware that this is happening. Okay. Awareness is key. And doing little, I wouldn't say rituals, but little tools, usually utilizing tools to assist us with our energy field, to remind ourselves to set that up for ourselves. So, what I find is really helpful is to just surround yourself in a nice, warm, golden blanket that extends out probably about 3 feet around you. And just allow the comfort of that to embrace you. And also in your mind's eye, just set the intention that nothing could come into my space unless I allow it. And by the laws of the universe, I don't know a lot of people realize this, nothing can come into your energy field or your space unless you allow it, because we have free will here, being here on earth. And on the other side of that, our free will, sometimes we aren't aware of what we're not aware of. Okay, let me explain. We are unconscious about some of the commitments or things that we agree to, and unconsciously we allow things to come into our space. Now, once you're aware, you can make a different choice. So I always love this tool, and this is one for your toolkits, everybody, especially for holiday toolkit, is that if you're go into a room and you feel like you're overwhelmed, or you feel like you're going through 20 shades of emotion, it's like a lot of times this is not your stuff. So what you can say, in your mind's eye or even out loud to yourself, if this is not my stuff, it needs to leave my space immediately in the laws of the universe. Okay, and let me reiterate that, like I said, you are a sovereign being. You are Nothing could come into your space unless you allow it. Okay. It's the free will concept of being here on earth. The thing is that so much of what is happening in our world within ourselves is on an unconscious level. So our awareness of this allows what is not coming into awareness, the unconscious stuff, to become more coming into the conscious thing. And so you could do something about it. So my tool my most precious tool, especially if I go into hospitals, because there's a lot of energetic debris flying around in hospitals. Hospitals are like portals. Okay, it's like souls are coming, souls are leaving, because they're born and they die there, and it's like an airport. So what, and I laugh about that because I could see the visual on it, and it is kind of funny, yet it also carries a lot of stuck energy as well. So there's a lot of entities and beings that are there that are wanting that light when you go in. So the important thing is to ground and protect yourself and to stay in your focus power. And it's not about going into these situations with fear. It's with a lot of love and compassion, and just about you being able to show up in the best version of yourself without people reaching for your energy and sucking you dry. Okay, I hope that made sense. I know that was a real complicated version of going through that, but bottom line, protect your energy, and create a toolkit for yourself, a self-care toolkit. And that's one of the tools that I love too. And you know, the, I just love this time of year because it's like Christmas music comes on, and it's just like I just overindulge and just enjoy Christmas music. And to me, that's very relaxing because it brings back a lot of memories, childhood memories, and really good memories for me. And so it's like put together a playlist of things, music that you love to listen to, especially during the holiday season, and just do special things for yourself, like sit by your tree if you put up a tree and just enjoy the blinking lights. I remember one year I forewent the whole thing about decorating the whole Christmas tree because I had a Christmas tree with lights on it, and I just had those sparkling lights just twinkling all the time without it decorated at night. It was just beautiful. So, make these are things for self-care. Take that extra nap if you need it. Just put your feet up and enjoy a holiday movie. It's just do things that make you happy, not out of obligation or out of fear, shame, or, oh my God, I got to do this. Because when you have issues like that, or when you have things that you're half baked about, it's like you start getting resentful, and then you really take the joy out of your sales and the joy out of the holiday season. And, this is the time of year for lots of treats people say, oh, the Christmas 15 pounds or whatever. I hope not. Oh my God, that would be hellacious. But, just be mindful of what you're eating and also how you're nourishing your body too. And have a conversation with yourself. Am I, really wanting that, or why am I really eating that? And just make good choices for yourself. If you know that if you eat something, it's going to give you an upset tummy, why are you eating it? There's got to be another option available. So just enjoy the holidays, but just don't overindulge. And, just focus on the things that bring you joy. And we talk about mindfulness, but mindful eating is a good way to go with that. And it's not about having the whole buffet table. It's just a taste and a sample. And then most importantly, just make sure that you keep yourself hydrated, rested, and well, because also during the holiday season, it's so interesting that we're always going, going, going. And it seems like right after Christmas, that week between Christmas and New Year's, and even the week after New Year's, people start getting sick. No surprise, because they're so stressed out. That stress lowers your immune system, and you're out with a million different people. Your immune system's compromised. It's no surprise to me that you pick up germs and your body can't fight them off. So you end up getting sick. So just a little bit, a tidbit there from the healthcare practitioner in me is just like, just be aware of that, because we want to make sure that we have our stress under control, not control our stress, but just to create more calm, more rest, and more peace for ourselves. And, make sure you give yourself some downtime during, the holidays. When we're constantly go, 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 it's just like, sometimes you just need to sit and do nothing, 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 just be. And so, however that looks for you, maybe it's like going into deep reflection, or going into the garden or the neighborhood park, or just even going to, if there's a botanical garden around, just go check that out. I gifted myself this year with a membership to our local botanical garden, and it's actually been a godsend for me, because it just allows me to get out into nature and sit with some different plants and trees, and just really take a deep breath and allow myself to ground. So these are little things that you could do for yourself as well, and they don't cost a lot. The other thing is staying, mobile and, flexible. It's like doing some type of activity that's going to bring some joy to you or put a smile on your face is also important. But, you know, I think one of the most important things that I like in my toolkit is practicing gratitude. Gratitude for me is just being really thankful for all the wonderful things that I have in my life, even though at the time that maybe I'm going through them, I don't think they're the most wonderful things that could have happened. Yet in retrospect, when I'm on the other side of it and I look back at that whole situation, I could see how that particular incident just lined everything up for myself to a much better place where I'm at currently than what I had been when this happened. So, a lot of times when we're able to look at the things that we are grateful and appreciative for, we are able to create more of an opening for more and more things to happen in alignment with where we're going and what we want to experience, instead of trying to control it and keep ourselves small and stuck. So it's a real fun way to, I would say, for those people who are skeptics, a great little experiment to do for yourself. It's just allowing yourself to be appreciative and grateful for things and just watching what happens and allowing what is coming next without having to try to control it. It's a really good exercise, especially if you're a little on the tendency like, well, Dolores, this is like crazy making. It's not really true. I invite you to try it because until you have an experience yourself, you really aren't going to be able to relish that. And this time of the year, it's just like people rush around and buying presents and gifts, and sometimes we overindulge financially on things, and later on when all the bills come due, the early part of the year, you're like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, okay, next year a different thing. Just simplify your gift giving. Some of the most precious gifts I've received have been the ones that people have personally created for me. They either made them or, the gift of, baking. Those things don't cost a lot, yet it's meaningful. And it does, decrease the stress and the financial burden. If you're able to create something of with things that you already have in your home, all for the better. What I ended up doing for hostess gifts this year were this, they had pumpkins left over from Halloween. And of course, they were like, you know, greatly reduced, and pumpkins kind of last forever. So I bought a couple of those. And that was in the beginning of November. And what I ended up doing is I have a lot of succulents in my yard. And so I created like, I'm going to say a pumpkin with some greenery and succulents on the top. So it's like an evergreen product. And for Thanksgiving, it was beautiful because people were like, oh my God, I said and then when I said to these people, well, I made that. And they're like, oh my God, you made that. It's just like, it's just incredible because it really looked like an expensive gift, but yet it was something that was very simple. And it was what I had available on hand that I put together, and it cost me nothing basically. So those are the kind of gifts that really, I feel, make people aware that you really did something and you did something from your heart. And I think the impact is more because it came from you and you created it yourself versus going out and buying something. So I feel that that's like a real great way to, you know, share things with people, and it doesn't cost you anything. It's just taking what you have and recycling things. So, which is cool. I think another important thing is that we need to just be aware that there's more that we could be doing than we think. And it's just about creativity. And I really need to go on a break right now. I can't believe it. I've been backing and chit chatting and stuff, but anyway, you're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. And we're on the Inspired Choices Network. And we're going to go on a break. And when we come back, we'll talk about more festive self care things you could do for you. Stay tuned.
Do you trust your instincts? Many of us don't. Yet this is the key to connecting to your innate healer within and your intuition. Tune in to the Dr. Dolores Show with nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, to receive insights and tools to realign with your inner wisdom for lasting health and true wellness. Listen for the Dr. Dolores Show, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Ready to break free from complacency? Welcome to I'm Awake, Now What? Your monthly invitation to embrace conscious living. If you've been feeling lost or stagnant, this is your chance to awaken your purpose. Join our transformative conscious wake-up office hours every month for guidance and self-discovery. Experience the power of clarity and focus as you navigate towards holistic healing and empowerment. Don't just survive, thrive. Sign up now and unlock a wealth of benefits, including enhanced well-being, stress reduction, emotional healing, and connection. It's time to ignite the flames of purpose within and start your journey to a fulfilling life.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Dr. Dolores Show with Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also send an email to Dolores at drdoloresfazzino.com. Now, back to the program.
Well, welcome back, everybody. You're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show on Inspired Choices Network. And I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. And we've been talking about festive self-care. And we're amongst the holiday season right now. And self-care is a real big deal because so often many of us put our needs on the back burner or on our list, the bottom of our list of things to do, or that we don't even make the list. And it's really about having the balance and um, creating the balance, the stamina, and the serenity that is so essential for us during, very stressful and chaotic periods of our life, and we're in the holiday season, and that kind of comes with stress, lots of obligations, lots of commitments. Oh my god, not enough time in the day to do everything that I really wanted to. So the key to remember is doing things on your term and setting boundaries and putting your needs as a priority as well. Okay, and also using your innate creativity that's there for you too. Um, so, let's continue on here. And, some of the most important things for like festive self care is staying grounded in your own traditions. Create new traditions for yourself. If you've been doing family stuff together and it's just not resonating with you, maybe it's time to create something different. Like I say to some people, sometimes some of our traditions are so last century that they've kind of worn their wear out, and it's time to, or there's too many memories or family dynamics involved with them, that what, start something new, start something fresh. You're a different person than what you were back during that time when that tradition was. To start something new. We're in the 21st century, and it's things have changed quite a bit, and we don't want to go into the past. And I'm not saying the past is not important, it is, but we don't want to be stuck in the past. Let's create some new things that our you're going to enjoy doing. I love that one of my colleagues decided that they were going to go to the Festival of Lights here in Southern California, and it's beautiful because it's they have a young family. Their kids are probably under the age of 5, and there's two of them, and they went for the evening, and it's like their new tradition that they're probably going to do this on an annual basis. So it brings a lot of joy, and things that are going to bring a lot of joy and happiness are the things to focus on. And I love that idea of the light show and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. I think another thing that we need to do is we have a lot of expectations. A lot of us think, oh, we make up these stories in our head, and I just have to laugh because it's like we think, oh, because of our beliefs that this is going to happen and that's going to happen and this person's going to react this way, and in essence, when reality hits, it doesn't happen that way at all. So I think we make up stories a lot of the time, and when they don't come into reality, we get really disappointed. So it's about being spontaneous, being in the moment, and um, not being in your head, because when we're in our head, we think about the past and the future, and rarely are we in the present moment. So we have a tendency to think what the other person might be thinking. And I don't know about you, but I was absent that day in school of Mind Reading 101. And I invite you to look at it from the same perspective, because we don't know what other people think. And our expectations sometimes blow everything out of the water because we become so disappointed when our expectations aren't being met. So I invite you to be more spontaneous, more in the moment, and just allow things to unfold in ways you probably never thought things could happen. And I think that's where the magic of the holiday season truly comes in. For many of us, it's about community and spending time with like-minded people and just really enjoying their company. And it's not just at the holiday season. I think it's interesting that we focus so much on the holidays. That's only 2 months out of the year. How about the other 10 months? It's just like, so what are we in recluse mode and don't do anything? If you find that you have a tendency to want to be doing, especially during the holidays, and you just feel like you're on overwhelm, I invite you to extend your holiday season. Instead of having it being 2 months, extend it out till March. I've known people who've had their holiday parties in February. And it's a brilliant idea, because how often after the holidays there's this lull of nothing happening, and when you're able to kind of spread things out, you could really enjoy and fully be present and be able to experience the joy instead of feeling like the obligation and the being tired and stuff like that. So it's something to contemplate. Um, the other thing too is that people volunteer, and volunteering is really cool, but volunteer if you really want to do it and it speaks to your heart. There's nothing worse than thinking you want to volunteer and you show up and you really don't want to be there. So do it because there's this innate feeling within yourself that you want to serve in a different capacity, and instead of just doing it out of rote, because people feel that. And I think that's really important when you show up, to show up 100% for anything that you do. Um, you know, we talk about, you know, empaths, intuitives, and highly sensitive people on my show a lot because I'm one of them, and I like to nurture and support people on their journey. And, I think the most important thing is for us to honor our sensitivity. Um, your sensitivity is a gift, it's not a curse. And until you're aware of that, I think sometimes it could feel really daunting and as if you're going mad or going crazy, but it's your barometer. You're wired differently. You're very fluent in reading energy, and this is really key, and this is important. You got important gifts to bring to humanity, especially at this time. And just acknowledge, if you're feeling overwhelmed and stuff, it's self-care to remove yourself from situations, such as, sometimes if you're in a crowded space and you feel like you're on overwhelm, sometimes you just have to pick up and leave because it's too crazy making for you. And I'm just going to share this brief story before we go on a break. A girlfriend of mine and I decided we were going to go to the desert to this event. It was the lighting of the lanterns. And I don't know if people have ever had that experience, but there was something on my bucket list that I wanted to experience. Yet what I found was kind of daunting because there's going to be over 8,000 people there at this event. And so my girlfriend Claire and I went. We got there, got out of the car, and started walking to the event, which was probably about a good mile into where we had parked. And I noticed that I was starting to feel really heavy from my waist down. And in fact, my lower back and my legs and my ankles, all my joints were starting to ache. And I really don't have problems with my joints. And Claire was noticing the same thing as well. So when we got to the event, it was very heavy and dense. And we lasted about an hour. And we looked at each other and said, we've got to get out of here, because she's also an empath, intuitive, and highly sensitive person. And we did. And when we left there, we noticed that the sensations we were feeling in our body was starting to dissipate. And so the lesson for both of us was, okay, energetically, when you're in a lower vibrating area and a lower vibrating group of people, is that energetically what happens behind the scenes is that the energy is trying to pull you down to their energy. It's like the rendition of crabs in a bucket, where some of the crabs are trying to leave and the other crabs are reaching up and trying to pull them down. Claire and I probably have a lot more light in our physical bodies because we just do a lot of work and raise our frequency. And so what happens when you have a bright light going into a dull area, the crabs are trying to reach that and pull you back down to their area. So, you can't leave, basically. And that's what was happening. So it was a huge epiphany and insight as to self-care around boundaries and really putting yourself into situations, but also removing yourself from situations where you're feeling uncomfortable. It's self-care. So we're going on our next break right now, and you're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show on Inspired Choices Network. And when we return, we're going to put things all together and do a little grounding meditation, because I like to do that for everybody on the show so they have like an experiential piece. And so stay tuned. When we come back, we'll do that, and see you on the other side.
Do you trust your instincts? Many of us don't. Yet this is the key to connecting to your innate healer within and your intuition. Tune in to the Dr. Dolores Show with nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, to receive insights and tools to realign with your inner wisdom for lasting health and true wellness. Listen for the Dr. Dolores Show, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Ready to break free from complacency? Welcome to I'm Awake, Now What? Your monthly invitation to embrace conscious living. If you've been feeling lost or stagnant, this is your chance to awaken your purpose. Join our transformative conscious wake-up office hours every month for guidance and self-discovery. Experience the power of clarity and focus as you navigate towards holistic healing and empowerment. Don't just survive, thrive. Sign up now and unlock a wealth of benefits, including enhanced well-being, stress reduction, emotional healing, and connection. It's time to ignite the flames of purpose within and start your journey to a fulfilling life.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Dr. Dolores Show with Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also send an email to Dolores at drdoloresfazzino.com. Now, back to the program.
Well, welcome back, everybody. You're listening to another episode of the Dr. Dolores Show on Inspired Choices Network. And I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. And we are talking about festive self-care because we are in the holiday season in this time in our calendar of the year. And boy, is it going to be a festive one for sure. So before break, we are talking about empaths, intuitives, and highly sensitive people. And of course, I'm one too. And like I was saying, I like to share my experience because I know there's other people out there that are the same. And sometimes it's a little daunting as to what do we do with this? How do we handle this? How do we maneuver through this? Well, especially during the holidays, our sensitivity is really a gift, okay? And I invite you to embrace that sensitivity because this is something that humanity needs right now is to tap into that and to embrace those aspects of ourselves that have been put on a shelf for way too long and not dealt with. It's a feel type of thing. Because remember, everything is energy, and we as human beings are wired to feel and experience. Yet we have been cut off from that for God knows how long, and now we're reintroducing that in. So, how this relates to like festive self care and stuff like that, I invite you to use your intuition to guide you to whatever you decide to do during the holiday season. And, I guess one of the easiest things you could do is just ask yourself, does this feel aligned with me? Whether you are saying yes to an event or buying a gift or committing to a plan, how does this feel to me? Does this feel like a yes, a no, not so much? And really pay attention to that and honor that. Trust your gut on things because your gut's going to be the best barometer as to what is next for you. So, those are like many important things too. I think, one thing that speaks volumes to me is sometimes we get the empathetic overload. And it's about, it being empathic is one thing, but also being compassionate are two different things. Is just holding a space without trying to absorb the emotions or the ideas that other people are putting out there. Sometimes, a lot of times, people do a lot of projections, and sometimes we energetically take on those projections as our own, when in essence, when it's not. So this is one aspect of becoming more aware as you progress on. And then, I think being with like-minded people is so so important, and because they're your tribe, they're your people. And as time goes on, I think more and more people are going to start finding each other. It's in more of an energetic pull. They're being energetically pulled together because like attracts like, okay? So know that that's what's happening. And we're going to dive into a guided meditation for festive self care. So I invite you to find a place where you're going to be uninterrupted and where you could sit for about, probably 5 to 6 minutes and just spend those times with yourself. So right now, I'm just going to invite you to take a moment to settle into a comfortable position. You could either be seated or you could lie down, and just close your eyes gently and let the world around you pause. And begin to connect with your breath, allowing each inhale to bring you calm and each exhale to release tension. This is your time, a sacred pause to ground yourself and embrace the festive energy with peace and centeredness. So bring your awareness to your feet. Imagine warm, golden light flowing down through your body, gathering at the soles of your feet. And picture this golden light growing roots that extend deep into the earth, anchoring you to the steady, nurturing energy of the planet. With each breath, feel yourself become more grounded and more stable. Now say to yourself, I am supported. I am connected. I am grounded. Now bring your attention to your heart center and visualize a glowing sphere of light here. It may be golden, green, or any other color that feels comforting. This light represents your inner calm, your ability to carry peace through the festive season and any time of the year. Let it grow, warm, and expand with each inhale that you make. Now, imagine you are standing in a peaceful, festive environment, one that feels deeply comforting to you. Perhaps it's a snowy forest lit by twinkling lights, or a cozy room filled with soft candlelight and seasonal aromas. Feel the gentle, soothing energy of this space surrounding you, inviting you to fully relax. Hear the crackling of a fire, the soft rustle of leaves, or the faint hum of a favorite holiday melody. Let these sounds calm your mind and lift your spirit. Visualize yourself holding a warm cup of something soothing, maybe tea, coffee, cocoa, or cider. Notice the warmth of the cup in your hands and the scent wafting and rising gently. Take a symbolic sip, imagining this drink filling you with comfort, joy, and ease. And say to yourself, I embrace the joy and peace of this season. I carry this calmness with me. Now imagine any stress, tension, or overwhelm you're carrying as a heavy bag resting on your shoulders. Visualize yourself gently setting this bag down beside you and watch as it begins to dissolve into the earth, leaving you feeling lighter and freer. And say to yourself, I release what no longer serves me. I welcome peace and ease into my life. And return your attention to your breath. And imagine each exhale clearing out the energy of overwhelm and each inhale filling you with calm, festive light. Now bring your attention back to your heart and picture that glowing light again, radiating warmth and calm through your entire body. This light is your constant anchor, your inner sanctuary, always accessible to you no matter how busy or chaotic life feels. And when you're ready, gently wiggle your toes and fingers and slowly bring your awareness back to the present moment, carrying with you the grounded, calm energy you've cultivated. Take one last deep breath, inhaling calm and exhaling gratitude, and open your eyes. Let this peaceful energy guide you through the rest of your day. And you could say to yourself, I am grounded, I am calm, I am at peace. So, welcome back, everybody. And we're going to be going on our next break. And you're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show on Inspired Choices Network. And I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. And when we come back from our break, we'll just wrap it up and talk about next week's show. So stay tuned.
Do you trust your instincts? Many of us don't. Yet this is the key to connecting to your innate healer within and your intuition. Tune in to the Dr. Dolores Show with nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, to receive insights and tools to realign with your inner wisdom for lasting health and true wellness. Listen for the Dr. Dolores Show, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Ready to break free from complacency? Welcome to I'm Awake, Now What? Your monthly invitation to embrace conscious living. If you've been feeling lost or stagnant, this is your chance to awaken your purpose. Join our transformative conscious wake-up office hours every month for guidance and self-discovery. Experience the power of clarity and focus as you navigate towards holistic healing and empowerment. Don't just survive, thrive. Sign up now and unlock a wealth of benefits, including enhanced well-being, stress reduction, emotional healing, and connection. It's time to ignite the flames of purpose within and start your journey to a fulfilling life.
This is the Dr. Dolores Show with Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Dolores at drdoloresfazzino.com. Now, back to the program.
Well, welcome back, everybody. You're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show on Inspired Choices Network. And I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. And I hope you really enjoyed our show this week because festive self-care is an important aspect, and self-care can be festive and can be fun, and it could be, rewarding, and it can be rejuvenative. So we're at a time in our world right now. It's holiday season, and I'm being goofy today, which is okay. I love being goofy. It's my natural tendency. But anyway, so just allow yourself the gift of self-care because it's so essential and so important. And before we segue on to what I really wanted to talk about, I'm just going to do a little infomercial break. If you are an empath, intuitive, and highly sensitive person, or you have gone through your spiritual awakening, meaning that life had been working really well for you, and then all of a sudden you just kind of feel like, it's not, and maybe stuff has happened. I invite you to join our community called I'm Awake Now What? And you could go to my website, and when you go to drdoloresfazzino.com, you'll see a section that says I'm Awake Now What? And what that is, it's a monthly membership community, and it offers a weekly Zoom call where my partner, Cozy Stankadis, and I come together and we talk about different topics that are um, important to people who are waking up, because a lot of times we don't have a reference point as to what's next. And it's really about coming together to offer healing, tools, community, and support for people who are on their healing journey. So I invite you to come and check that out. And then also, if you are in need of having some mentoring or coaching, look me up. I'm more than happy to help you and guide you on your path. You could also go check that out on my website, drdoloresfazzino.com. So let's talk about our overview of our takeaways from our episode today. And just remember that the holiday season is a great time of joy, connection, and celebration. But many of us, especially empaths, intuitives, and highly sensitive people, feel the overburden of the stress, the overwhelm, and the emotional exhaustion. And, we talked a lot about just honoring your sensitivity, and your sensitivity is always going to be heightened, especially during very stressful times, especially holidays when you just pick up on everything. So listen to your body and your intuition. When you feel overwhelmed, pause and prioritize your self-care without guilt or having to explain yourself. Just trust that you're the information you're getting, and self-care is to remove yourself or make a different choice, pivot. It's okay to do that. Protect and ground your energy. Protective bubble exercises are cool. Also, grounding techniques. And I have a grounding technique on my website. It's a downloadable, so you're welcome to go check that out. drdoloresfazzino.com, and it's the pop-up that comes up. It's allows you to ground in multiple dimensions in a very short period of time. Practice mindful self-care. So, schedule some time, downtime. Just because you're constantly going, 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 you know what? Sit down for 15, 20 minutes, rest, recharge, because rest is sacred and it's essential. It's not a option, it's a necessity, okay? Remember to release your expectations and stress. There's no such thing as the perfect holiday. Um, because when we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, because for our for my people out there who are perfectionists, recovering perfectionists here, it's everything is just as it is, and it's actually the key is like it's perfect in its own way, even though our definition of perfection might be different. Reframe gift giving, commitments, and traditions. Some of the best gifts you could give are the ones that are created by yourself. And even if it's just the gift of time or just something, some little tchotchke that you put together, it means more to people than you think than spending a lot of money. Be resourceful. Use what you have on hand instead of having to go buy stuff out there and spend a boatload of money. I think people will really appreciate that more so than you think. And celebrate in ways that feel authentic. We talk about traditions and rituals. Create your own, where you are, it's created on your terms and how you're feeling and what you would like to create. And really be intentional when you connect with other people instead of going to a party where you feel like it's you know you really don't want to be there, but you're there, you're out of there out of obligation. I would suggest possibly just checking in with self, and if it feels aligned with what you want to be doing, great, go. If not, just say, thanks, I'm going to take a pass on this. I'll catch you in the next round. And, without having to explain yourself or feeling obligated to show up, because sometimes when we put more stress on ourselves when we do things that we don't want to do because we're in resistance, than showing up when it's a hell yes. So just know that and just, be kind to yourself. Lastly, the holiday season doesn't have to be overwhelming. By tuning into your needs, setting clear boundaries, and nurturing your energy, you can embrace the magic of this time while staying calm, grounded. So, have a wonderful week. See you next week.
Thank you for
And
listening to the
remember to be
Dr.
kind
Dolores
to
Show.
yourself.
Dr.
Take
Dolores
care.
returns Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. Until then, remember to be kind to yourself and create your best life. You are worth it.